I remind you all, this assignment is your test for this mini unit, right? We're not doing a test on it. So I do wish for it to get done. All right. If I don't finish going over it today, of course, I am trusting you to be honest, but the same thing will always happen. If you lie on this and you do poorly on the tests, the only person that reflects badly upon is you. So have some integrity, as always. And let's have a look at this. What do I have there? I have a point and a slope. So if I put it in point-slope form, have I written the equation? The question says write the equation. Does it say write all four versions? No, it just says write the equation. I don't care what one you use. Since you have a slope and a point, I told you when I taught you point-slope form, it becomes very, very useful. Is it useful here? Yeah. Y minus, what's the y that I know? 1 equals slope 3, x minus, what's the x that I know? 2. Done. If you went further, you tried to do slope-intercept form. If you tried to do slope-intercept form, maybe you wrote y equals mx plus b. You knew that the slope was 3, and you knew that x was 2, and y was 1, and then maybe you found b. And you found b to be negative 5. So maybe you have y equals 3x minus 5. Maybe. I would bet that every single person in the room, if they did it, has either that or that. If you did this work, now, you may not have the right answer, but that's what you probably tried to do, yes? If you add y plus 1 and x plus 2, then you give yourself a half mark. You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay? Because you recognize that somewhere in there, that's where the x's and the y's go. Everybody cool? Now, if I continue to do both of them for each one, will that please everybody that did their work? Yeah? Okay. So this one is y minus 4 equals negative 2/5 x plus 1, right? Or you have negative 2/5 plus 4 is 3 3/5. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3 and 3/5, or maybe you have 18/5. You should have one of those two. Everybody cool? Anybody want to discuss either one of them? Should have that or that. Everybody good? Or that. I would accept any of the three. Everybody good? Which one? Do you want to discuss it?
No, I know what it is.
Okay. Slope and x-intercept. This one's tricky because a lot of people put it in slope-intercept form and put a 3 there. What's wrong with doing that? The 3 is the x-intercept, not the y-intercept. So really, this is 3, 0, and it's point slope again, yeah? So it's y equals 2 x minus 3. That's going to show up as plus 3, but I can't erase it because it's not on the screen yet. X minus 3. Or y equals 2x minus 6. Either of them. This one, since you have x-intercept and y-intercept, right? You could have done general form. but most likely you didn't. Most likely, I hope you thought this. If it goes through 3 and 4, it has a slope of negative 4/3. So y equals negative 4/3 x plus 4. Did anybody do something different there? Okay, but you still got that same slope. Right. So you still got that. Everybody cool? Point slope form, this is the exact same as C. So it's y equals 3/4 x minus 4, or y equals 3/4 x minus 3. This is y equals negative 2x plus 5, because that is in slope-intercept form, because that's a y-intercept. Or you could have y minus 5 equals negative 2x plus 0, which I would accept, but I don't really like, right? Because that isn't how we would write that. If you wanted to leave that in point slope form, the best way would be negative 2x. But again, I would accept all three. This one was really tricky. This one's really hard. So, you know the slope is 5/6, yes? So, soon as you see slope, I recommend slope, point slope, or slope-intercept form. I'm going to use slope-intercept form, even though this says x-intercept, and I'm about to show you why. That is 5/6 x plus b, correct? Everyone agree? All right. So now, you know one of the points is negative 2/3, yes? Where does that go? In for x, yeah? And what goes in for y then? So 0 equals 5/6 times negative 2/3, correct? Which is negative 10/18, yes? So negative 10/18 plus b equals 0. So then I can bring that over. Positive 10/18 equals b. Would we leave it like that? That's 5/9, yes? So y equals 5/6 x plus 5/9. Now that's really ugly, right? But you can leave it that way because it's right. What would be a nicer way to write it without the fractions? You could turn it into general form, right? Which means multiplying both sides by what number? What can I multiply both sides by to get rid of both denominators? If I multiply 6 by 3, I get 18. If I multiply 9 by 3, I get 27. So not quite. So I can't use 3, but you're on the right track. You're seeing something in math. You see 6 and 3 will work with 9, but you just got to go bigger. 18 will get rid of them both, right? Right? If I multiply this side by 18, what's going to happen to the 18 and the 6? Will the 6 cancel? Yeah. And what's 18 divided by 6? 3. So now I got 3 times 5. What's that? So I would have 15x, correct? This would be 18 over 9. What happens to the 9 and the 18? That's going to disappear, and that's going to be 2. Now I got 5 and 2, so what's that? 10. And then this side, if I multiplied everything on this side by 18, what do I got to multiply this side by? 18. So then I got 18y equals that. And then I would move the 18 over, and I'd have standard form. I mean, general form. General form. Cool? But the slope-intercept form is fine. The point I'm trying to make here is, again, the same point I was trying to make yesterday and the whole last unit. X and Y always work. No matter what else is happening, you can always put X and Y coordinates into the equation. Cool? And then this one, it's another x-intercept, y-intercept. -5 is way out here, +2. So your slope is 2 over 5. So y equals 2/5 x, y-intercept of 2 plus 2. Everybody cool? So that page is out of what, 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, everybody good? Okay. 225, you guys have seen a question like this already. Two perpendicular lines intersect on the y-axis. If they intersect on the y-axis, what do we know about them? They have the same y-intercept. And if they're perpendicular, what do I know about their slopes? Opposite reciprocal. So if I know this slope and y-intercept, do I automatically know the slope and y-intercept of the other line? Right, great. What is this one? How would I get the slope and the y-intercept there? Slope-intercept form, which means getting y what? By itself. So if I move that y, am I in business? Y equals 2x plus 8. What's my slope? 2. What's my y-int? 8. In the other line, what's the y-intercept? 8. What's the slope? -1/2. And that's going to be worth 2 marks because you had to do some stuff over here. Does everybody understand what I did there? Everybody cool? Yeah? All right. Now, what's different in number 3? They don't intersect at the y-axis, but they do intersect at the same point. So can I do the same thing but with point-slope form? Yeah. I know that the first line is 2x plus y plus 6 equals 0. Yes? So that guy is y equals -2x minus 6. Yeah? The other line has the perpendicular slope to that. So what's the other line? Y has to equal, what's perpendicular to -2? 1/2. And now I have the slope I need, and I just need that point, don't I? So it's y minus -4, which is what? +4. And x minus -2, which is what? Or 1, sorry. And then that one's done. Does everybody understand what I did there? Okay? Everyone's good? Now, if I wanted to keep it in slope-intercept form, then what would I do? I would still have y equals 1/2 x plus b, correct? How do I find b? There's an x and a y. What's that? X and a y. So what can I do with them? I can put the x in there and the y in there, and that will get me b. Everybody understand? Was that your... Oh, okay. I thought you were like, ta-da! It's like, ooh, jazz hands. I went to a play last night, so I'm very drama-y today.
What play?
Beauty and the Beast. The school that my kids normally go to in Chilliwack does giant productions every January in the giant theater in Chilliwack. That's like the Abbey Arts Center.
Oh.
And they did Beauty and the Beast. Both my kids were going to be in it this year, but then my son got the job on the 100, so he couldn't do the play. But we still wanted to go see the play because it was all their friends from the previous 6 years they've been in that.
Yeah. Oh, so it was elementary school.
Mm-mm. It's outside of school.
Oh. Well, he said 6 years, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know. They've been in that program at that School of Performing Arts, outside of school
I get
for
it.
6 years.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
All right. Sorry, guys. Those would have been worth 2 each, hey? All right. Each of these is going to get you 1. I'm going to draw the A line red. Slope of 2/5 through -3, 2. 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2. Then a slope of 2/5. Down 2. Left 5, or up 2. Right 5. It should look like that. Kind of low. Through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -8 on the x-axis. For 1 mark. Now I need one that goes through -2, -1, but is parallel to part A. So if it's parallel, what does that mean? Same slope. So I go over to -2, -1, and I do the same slope. Now look at how easy this is to do. I went down 3 and over 1 from that point. So where do I go from this point? Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And there it is. Everybody good? Okay, and then I need a perpendicular one through -2, -1, which is this point right here. What's perpendicular? Opposite and flip the sign, right? Or opposite and flip the fraction, right? So this was 2/5, so I got to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1, 2. Right there, and that's going to go down there. Gouda, 3 marks. Making that page out of 7, if I'm not mistaken. Right? 2, 4, 3 is 7. Then just multiple choice. What form is that in? Slope-intercept, which means the line has to go through 6, correct? So, which ones could it be? It can't be A, right? It's got a negative slope. So can it be B? No, it can't be B because B has a positive slope. So now I'm here. Then all I do is check. -3/4. Down 1, 2, 3, out 1, 2, 3. Oh, it can't be C. Down 1, 2, 3, out 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. It's D. For 1 mark. Everybody cool? Okay. General form. What is the key to general form? What isn't allowed? No fractions, no brackets. X has to be positive. Are there brackets? Nope. Are there fractions? Are there fractions? Yeah. So I got to get rid of that fraction. How do I get rid of a divided by 4? Multiply everything by 4. What happens to the 4s? They go away. X plus what? 8 equals, what do I got to do to y if I multiply the x side by 4? Multiply it by 4 to get 4y. Now, is x positive? So should I touch him? No. So all I got to do is get this y over here. What happens to y when he comes over the equal sign? -4y plus 8 equals 0. D. As in, damn, I love math. It's difficult for me to say that when I'm imitating you people because it's a lie. I don't like to lie. I don't know why you hate math so much. Everybody argues about math. Oh, I hate it so much. I never know what I'm doing. Math is always the same. It's the only course that never changes. It doesn't matter who your math teacher is. X equals 7. But whatever, right? It doesn't matter who taught you math. The answer to this question is D. But in English class, answers change. In socials class, answers change. In science class, answers change. 50 years ago, that guy just got a heart transplant. No, he didn't. That's not true. They don't happen. Right? 50 years ago, computers didn't exist. But in math, 50 years ago, the answer to that question was still D. And in 50 years from now, what's the answer to that question going to be? D. Sure. Why not? All right. Okay. So, I need the slope-intercept form of a line going through there, and that's parallel to that. So if I'm going through there, that's a point, right? So if I know the slope, I know point-slope form, don't I? But I need slope-intercept, so all I would do is convert, right? So let's get the point-slope form. I know it's y minus 10 equals m x minus 8, correct? Because that's the point. Agreed? All I need is the m. How do I find the m if I know that it's parallel to that? All I do is find that guy's slope, right? What is it? What's 0 minus 2? 0 minus minus 2 is plus 2 over what's 1 minus 9? Negative 8. So that's negative 2/8, which is what really? Negative 1/4. So that's your m. Where does it go? In for m, which is right up here. I'm going to see how far I can get before it actually writes everything out. There we go. So now I have y minus 10 equals 1/4 x minus 8. But I need slope-intercept form, yeah? So I got to get rid of the brackets. Y minus 10 equals 1/4 x. Now, what is 8 times 1/4? 2. Because that is 8 times 1 over 4. What's 8 really? 8 over 1. What's 8 times 1? 8. 4 times 1, 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Right? Now, what do I got to do there to make slope-intercept form? I just got to move him. What happens to that negative when he comes over here? Positive. So y equals 1/4 x plus 8. D. As in, damn, Mr. Myers, you make math fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice call, Talon. It's negative 1/4. It's B. As in, boy, I wish Mr. Myers paid closer attention to details instead of trying to be doing comedy. But you just told me you got it right. It is B. Thank you for seeing the negative. See? Look what happened. When there was that time when I was waiting for it to go over, I forgot. You didn't get it wrong, though. And I think this is the last question, isn't it? Oh, there's 2. Okay, there's so many ways to do this question. Okay? But what's the hint in the question to how to do it? Perpendicular, right? If I know this slope, do I know the perpendicular slope? Okay, what is this slope? How can I find it? It's on a graph, so what am I allowed to do? Count. It goes through that point right there and that point right there. right? So what's the slope? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4 negative. So this guy's slope is 5 over negative 4. We'll finish this tomorrow.